Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that Ruel. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children that they're keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I just wanted to go into a quick follow-up lesson from the one I did yesterday, going into I forgot exactly how I titled it, but going into how, it's bittersweet, being in this truth. It's bittersweet being in this truth. And more so I was going into the topic of how it said, I think it was 63% of men are single and not actively looking, and they are the highest growing demographics in the U.S. And I was going into how it's kind of like a bittersweet thing, because sweet having that peace, being able to build yourself up and actually grow, but it's bitter because going into certain aspects of being single, you don't have a woman there to do her part into helping you build your empire, and not helping you just financially, but helping you as doing her part to benefit the household and benefit you. But one of the things I had thought about earlier today, and I wanted to add into that point of it being sweet, was when you're single, especially as a man, being a man in this world. First, I'm gonna say this: being a man in this world, we're not taught to learn ourselves. We're not taught to learn what we like to do. We're not taught to know who we are. See, being in this truth and being attached to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, the Lord puts us in situations, and ultimately our culture in general puts us in situations to learn who we are, not only just as Israelites, but individuals as well. We're all uniquely made and like different things. We're diverse, and that's how we like our women. That's how Yahweh Shem Shah created his men. He created his men just like we like our women, diverse and different. We don't want everybody to be the same. So the Lord didn't make us the same. And a part of us not being the same, us men, especially in this truth, is we have to learn ourselves, learn what we like to do, certain things we want in order, certain things we want or like or have a certain way, just understanding yourself, because, and one of the reasons why I'm going into this, like I said, is going back and tying into that lesson and going into the sweet is, how we talk about Isaiah 4:1 having multiple wives. Well, it's a beautiful thing to know yourself, because during that time, and especially moving forward into the kingdom, these women are going to be catering to you. But you have to know yourself, you have to know what you like to do. You might like certain things a certain way. And like I said, this world was catered to the woman. So we, as men, were taught to learn how to please a woman, and and certain women that you deal with, especially. Because certain, most women, they like the generic, I ain't gonna say generic, but they like some of the same things, a lot of the same things, but then you have your individual women that like things a certain way, like different things, But you never was taught to learn yourself. You was taught to learn how to basically get the woman and keep the woman and do the things that she likes. But it's not really like that, vice versa. That's why even in the world with these holidays, men, especially like Valentine's Day, men go all out to do all these things for women, get them the balloons, the flowers, the candy, the gifts, do all these things. But then on the flip side around, she don't really do anything for him, At most, she gives him sex, and that's it. But that's something he's supposed to be getting year round. Almost every day of the year, almost. Still got your high holy days and the Sabbath days, and the time of her cycle, of course, on top of any time in between the fasting. But for the most part, this world caters to women and what they like. And as men, especially growing up, like you might not even know nothing, coming into this world when you first born, you don't know nothing about these holidays and nothing. All of this is taught over time, and what you see and being conditioned is cater to the woman, learn what she likes. You never really truly get to learn yourself, and that's why a lot of men, they don't really know what they like or like to do when they're on their own. They don't really know themselves, So the Lord has put a lot of men a lot of men in situations to learn themselves, especially being single. It's a lot of brothers that's, single in this truth, and ultimately over here in the U.S., but especially in this truth, it's a lot of brothers that be singing. You got your time where the Lord, He'll give you a woman, and you deal with that woman, and times where He put you being single. But a part of being single, on top of the other benefits that I mentioned in the other video, was getting to truly understand and know who you are, what you like, and how you like things, and being able to be capable of taking care of yourself. Because being in those situations like that, it'll be easier to deal with women who have that mindset to do these things for you. So now you know how you really know yourself. So you can better tell her how to take care of you, So I'm gonna read this in Ezekiel 16. I'm just read down in it. And it's, pretty much going into how the Lord hooked up the nation of Israel, how He blessed us and gave us all the finest of things. And He's going to do that again on a whole nother level. But see, our people, we were wicked. And our people, we went off. We did things abominable to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but the time is coming where we ain't going to be wicked no more. The Lord is going to make us perfect and give us these new bodies where we can't go off and be wicked. And we're going to be perfect like Yahweh. And we're going to get, as the scriptures say, decked up. But even with that, even with everything the Lord is going to do for us and how He's going to upgrade us and level us up, each brother is still going to have their own varieties and variations. Nothing is going to be the same for each brother. We all like different things. So this is Ezekiel 16. I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read this in the AMP. Again, the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, make Jerusalem understand the heinous and vile nature of her repulsive idolatrous acts, going into worshiping other idols. And say, thus saith the Lord God to Jerusalem, all of Israel, your spiritual origin and your birth are from the land of Canaan, and your spiritual father was an Amorite, and your spiritual mother a Hittite. And as for your birth, on the day you were born, your navel cord, get that footnote. Jerusalem became an Israelite city only after David captured it. That's what's going into. And as for your birth, on the day you were born, your navel cord was not cut, nor were you washed with water for cleansing, nor were you rubbed with salt or even wrapped in cloths. No eye looked with pity on you to do any of these things for you, to have compassion on you, but you were thrown out in the open field, for you were loathed on that day that you were born. And then basically it's going into how these other nations, they don't care for us. They don't, none of these other nations, these other guys, nothing in this world outside of Yahweh Shem Yahushua really cares about us, the nation of Israel. We see this even to this day, and this talking about the ancient world. It's talking about when the Lord, basically made that covenant with our nation. Started with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, leading all the way up until He established it from Moses to the nation of Israel. But even to this day, we still see these nations don't care about us. No one looks at us with pity. When I passed by you and saw you squirming in your newborn blood, I said to you while you were there in your blood, live. Yes, I said to you while you were there in your blood, live. I made you, Israel, multiply like plants which grow in the field, and you grew up and became tall, and you reached the age for wearing fine jewelry. Your breasts were formed and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare. Then I passed by you again and looked on you. Behold, you were maturing. At that time was You were maturing and at the time for love, and I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. Yes, I swore an oath to you and entered into the covenant with you, said the Lord, and you became mine. So basically, this is going into how the Lord made the covenant, started with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all the way up until the nation was built up in the land of Egypt, and he made that covenant and sealed it between Moses and the congregation of Israel. You know, this is what the Lord is comparing it to how a man would marry a woman. Like you said, when a woman she being brought up, raised up, and then at the time where it's time for her to become a woman and be married to a man. He said he spread his skirt, meaning we was under him. We became under him. Just like a woman becomes under a man, we came under the Lord. And a man would say, that's mine. That's me right there. That's what Yahweh Shem Shah said. Then I washed you with water. Yes, the water is the word. I thoroughly washed away from you the clinging blood and anointed you with oil. The oil is the word, water and oil. Let me see. Let me get that real quick, at least. Salakia. Salakia. Psalms 119 is it verse 7? No. Verse 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. Let's see. Let's get wrong thing. Where is that? It might have been it. That might have been it. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Hold on. 1 second. Okay. And this it's tying right into it as well. I'm gonna start at verse 34. Well, no, I'm gonna start at verse 22, 21. Submit. I'm gonna get to point 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahweh Shai is the head of the church. The church is consists of the men, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Yahweh Shai, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Yahweh Shai also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. So the water that's talking about is going into the word. Yahweh Shai gave us understanding. And then I'll read the next one, said that he may present it himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy without blemish. And that's the point. Now let me get one more, because it said the water and then the oil. Let's see. Matter of fact, yeah, let me get there first. This is Psalms 119, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Right. Now let me get it's Matthew 25, I believe. This is Matthew 25 and 21. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Now let's go down. And went too far. Let me see. Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in and went with him into the marriage, and the door shut. And afterward, the other virgins saying, Lord, Lord, came saying, Lord, Lord, let us in. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. So this is going into the difference between the oil being this truth, this understanding, this word, which is the elect versus the non-elect. So the water and the oil that it's talking about is this word. The Lord gave us the understanding. Then I washed you with water. Yes, I thoroughly washed away from you the clinging blood and anointed you with oil. I also clothed you with embroidered cloth and put sandals of porpoise skin on your feet. And I wrapped you with fine linen and covered you with silk. I adorned you, which I'm going to read verse 11 in the KJV. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands and a chain on thy neck. I just wanted to see what the deck, it goes into adorn. Just wanted to see if it had something else. Let me see what Google say. Okay, it says to decorate or adorn brightly or festively. Right, so the Lord just basically saying how he beautified the nation of Israel. I also put a ring in your nostril and earrings in your ears and a beautiful crown on your head. Thus you were adorned with gold and silver, and your dress was made of fine linen and silk and embroidered cloth. You ate fine flour and honey and oil, so you were extremely beautiful and advanced and prospered into royalty. Then your fame went out. Then your fame went out among the nations on the account of your beauty, for it was perfect because of my majesty and splendor, which I bestowed upon you, says the Lord. So the Lord is basically going into how he built the nation of Israel up. He literally built the nation of Israel up from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When the Lord took Abraham away from his family and told him that he was going to build him a great nation, make him the father of many nations, and make a covenant with him and his seed, all the way up until you see King David and King Solomon, and all the nation of Israel was on top, and the whole world knew about King Solomon and his glory, and the nation of Israel and their glory, The Lord literally built the nation of Israel up. And the point of me, again, going into this is even how he, during that time period where the Lord built the nation of Israel up, and everybody was balling, everybody was good. The whole nation was good. It was still a lot of diversity. The kingdom at that time, the kingdom of Solomon, was very, very beautiful. And like I say, everybody's different. The Lord is going to do this again. He's going to build the nation of Israel up. And this time we're never going to fall. We're not going to fall again. And when he builds us up and we are established on the earth as a kingdom, the things that you like, the things that you are interested in, you know. And there's a lot of things we don't know. Of course, we don't. It's a lot of things we don't know about yet. But the things that you could know, that's like you learn yourself better when you alone. You know, when you're single. So I'm just trying to go into, and I hope this is making sense. But just kind of going into like when you alone, you single, you learn yourself better things that you like. You know, especially as a man, because we wasn't. We never got the opportunity. Well, I ain't gonna say the opportunity, but we was never put in the situations to understand that we are the heads. You know, women were created to benefit us, and so a part of being women benefiting you is to know yourself and to learn yourself. You know, learn what your style of clothes, instead of following the trends. Learn your favorite genre of music and different songs that you like, instead of people thinking that you weird or lame for listening to certain type of music, or you know, certain hobbies you like to do. You know, whatever the case may be. It just, you know, you being yourself and understanding who you truly are, you know, and how it all plays into the scheme of, you know, the grand, I don't want to use the word scheme, grand scheme, but how it plays into, you know, the master plan of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So that's the point I'm trying to do, just kind of adding on to yesterday, and how the Lord is going to literally build us up again in the kingdom of heaven, and everything he was going into, how he beautified us, put his majesty and his splendor upon us. Everything that belongs unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're going to have access to. The resources, the stones, precious stones. As a matter of fact, I probably should have got that Revelations 21. Or is it? Is it 21? Yeah. This is Revelation chapter 21. Starting at verse 10. It's like, and he carried me away in the spirit in the AMP to a vast and lofty mountain, and showed me the holy sanctified city of Jerusalem coming down out of heaven from the Most High. This is the people having the Most High's glory, filled with his radiant light. Going into the Most High's majesty and splendor, we have them new bodies. We're going to be on a whole nother level. The brilliance of it resembled a rare and very precious jewel, like jasper, shining and clear as crystal. It had a massive and high wall. Now he's seeing the actual kingdom itself, with 12 large gates. And at the gates were stationed 12 angels. And on the gates, the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel were written. On the east side, there were 3 gates. On the north side, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. And on the west, 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundation stones. And on them, the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, Yahweh. The one who was speaking with me had a gold measuring rod to measure the city and its gates and its wall. The city is laid out as a square, its length being the same as its width. And he measured the city with his rod, 12,000 stadia, about 1,400 miles. Its length and width and height are equal. He measured its wall also 144 cubits, about 200 feet, according to man's measurement, which are also an angelic measurements. The wall was built of jasper, and the city was pure gold, transparent like clear crystal. The foundation stones of the wall of the city were adorned with every kind of precious stone. The first foundation stone was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony. It says the modern equivalents of this and some other gemstones are no longer known. The scriptures given by ancient writers only partially correlate with the modern stones being the same names. The fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, yellow topaz, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th jacinth, the 12th amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each separate gate was of one single pearl, and the street Broadway of the city was pure gold like transparent crystal. So if the kingdom of heaven is going to be built up like that, and we all are different. We all have our own individual taste. Just imagine your style of clothes, your style of your wardrobe, the type of music, which we ain't gonna be having no rap or nothing in the kingdom of heaven, but still, it's gonna be diversity. Jake, Jake is very, very, very creative, and this side that we see right now is on the low level in Esau Edom's kingdom. So how much more in our own kingdom? Like I said, your hobbies, things you like to do, but especially the clothes, your house, your chariot, your ride, your crown. All of these things are gonna be custom, custom to your liking. And it's things that we don't know about right now that we gonna like. We can't fully know everything and fully know ourselves right now because we operate in another man's kingdom. But when we operate in our own kingdom, when we have the option and have variety, man, it's gonna be something serious. Something to see. It's gonna be truly a sight to see. So even right now, just getting to learn yourself and know yourself and understand who you are, and what you like. That's a part of the suite of right now, because the Lord can have you for a certain time being on your own, learning different things and learning yourself, and then put you with a woman who's going to be beneficial and willing and probably even like some of the things that you like. Just like the lady said on Coming to America, whatever you like. She might like some of the same things that you like or do some of the same things you do. But you will learn yourself, know yourself. So I just wanted to go into that. And Lord will, it was edifying and it made sense. I want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing his word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping his word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.